Google just put out Gemini 3.7 Flash, and the part that got my attention first wasn't the benchmark chart. It was the date. Gemini 3.6 Flash came out 3 weeks ago. That's it. 3 weeks between a model release and its replacement, and the new one costs half as much. So before we look at any numbers, that's the real context here. The Flash line is now moving faster than most teams can finish testing a single version of it. Pricing first, because that's the thing that actually changes decisions. 3.7 Flash is 75 cents per 1 million input tokens and $3.75 per 1 million output tokens. 3.6 Flash launched at $1.50 and $7.50, so yeah, exactly half. But read the footnote, because Google buried something in there. That's introductory pricing, and it expires December 31st, 2026. On January 1st, 2027, it goes back up to $1.50 and $7.50. So if you're building a budget model around this, you've got roughly 4.5 months of the cheap rate, and then your costs double, unless Google extends it. Okay, so what do you actually get for that? On Frontier Code 1.1, which is Cognition's eval for production-ready code, 3.7 Flash hits 43.6% against 34.4% for 3.6 Flash. That's a 9-point jump in 3 weeks, which is a lot. For reference, Claude Sonnet 5 sits at 42.7% and GPT 5.6 Terra at 41.3% on the same chart. So Google's showing a narrow win there, about 1 point over Sonnet. Narrow enough that I wouldn't switch stacks over it, but it's a real result. DeepSui version 1.1 is the more interesting one, and I like that Google published it honestly. Long horizon software engineering, meaning tasks where the model has to keep working across many steps without losing the thread. 3.7 Flash gets 65.3%, up from 48.6%. Big jump. But GPT 5.6 Terra is sitting right there at 69.6%, higher than Gemini on Google's own chart. Claude Sonnet 5 is at 53.8% and Muse Spark 1.2 at 54.9%. So on the hardest agentic coding eval in the set, Gemini 3.7 Flash is in second place and Google still shipped the chart. That tells you something about what they think matters. They're not claiming the crown, they're claiming the best result at that price. Web development is where the story gets cleaner. On Code Arena, which most people know as Web Dev Arena, 3.7 Flash scores 1,588 ELO. 3.6 Flash was 1,538. Claude Sonnet 5 is 1,541. GPT 5.6 Terra 1,523. Muse Spark 1.2 at 1,535. So all the competition is bunched between 1520 and 1545, and Gemini jumped 50 points clear of the pack. That's the widest gap on any of these charts. And Google's specific claim underneath it is that the model builds more functional layouts and more complete apps in fewer prompts, and that it holds design fidelity when you feed it a screenshot or a design system as a reference. If you do a lot of front-end work, that's the number to actually go verify yourself. Enterprise workflow automation is the chart I'd stare at longest if I ran an ops team. Automation Bench 3.7 Flash gets 30.4%, up from 17.0%. GPT 5.6 Terra is at 23.6%. Claude Sonnet 5 is at 10.7%. Now, 30% doesn't sound impressive until you realize what the benchmark is measuring. These are real multi-step business workflows, the kind where the model has to pull data, decide something, and take an action without a human checking every step. Every model on that chart fails most of the time. The best score in the industry on this thing is under a third. So when you hear people say agents are ready to replace back-office work, that chart is your reality check. They're not. They're getting better fast, but they're not. There's a fifth eval that didn't get a chart in the announcement thread but is in the blog post, called gdp.pdf. It tests how well a model reads and reasons over dense documents. 34% versus 22% for the old model. That one matters for finance, legal, and life sciences work, and Google explicitly called out those 3 fields. Harvey and Hebia both gave testimonials, which are legal and enterprise search companies, so that's clearly the market they're aiming at. Beyond benchmarks, the claim I find more useful is about behavior. Google says the model adapts better when it hits a roadblock, asks for clarification when the request is vague, and follows instructions more precisely, and it plans more before it acts on multi-step work. That's the stuff you feel within 10 minutes of using a model and never see in a chart. A model that stops and asks instead of confidently building the wrong thing saves you way more time than 2 points on an eval. Whether it actually does that, you'll know quick. Where you can use it right now. Developers get it in Google Anti-Gravity, which is Google's agent-first coding environment, plus the Gemini API through Google AI Studio and Android Studio. Enterprise folks get it through Gemini Enterprise and the agent platform in Google Cloud. And regular people, if you pay for Google AI Pro or Ultra, get it inside Spark in the Gemini app. Spark is worth a minute because a lot of people still don't know what it is. It's the personal agent Google launched at I/O, and the idea is it runs in the background on your behalf instead of waiting for you to type. With 3.7 Flash underneath, Google says it's better at workspace tools specifically, so consolidating files in Drive, drafting emails, keeping status docs updated. That's the practical version of agents for most people. Not writing code, just handling the small admin stuff that eats an hour a day. Spark is live in over 160 countries, though not in the European Economic Area, Switzerland, the UK, or Nigeria, which is a weird list, but that's the regulatory situation right now. The cost math is where this gets interesting for anyone running things at volume. Say you've got an agent that burns 50,000 input tokens and 10,000 output tokens per task. At the new rate, that's about 7 cents a run. At the old 3.6 Flash rate, it was about 15 cents. Run 100,000 tasks a month, and you just went from $15,000 to about $7,500. That's the actual pitch. Not that it's the smartest model on Earth, but that the price-to-performance line moved enough that workloads, which didn't make sense last month, might make sense now. One thing that catches people, and I've seen this trip up a lot of teams, thinking tokens get billed at the output rate. So a model that reasons more before answering, which Google is openly saying this one does, will generate output tokens you never see in the response. Your bill can be double what the visible answer length suggests. If you're doing serious cost planning, run a real workload and measure it. Don't multiply the sticker price by your expected response length. The thing nobody at Google mentioned and everyone noticed is Gemini 3.5 Pro. Still not here. We're now on the 7th release of the 3.x Flash line, while the Pro tier sits at 3.1. Axios and a few others pointed that out directly. My read is that Google figured out the Flash tier is where the actual usage is. Most production traffic isn't running on flagship models, it's running on the cheap, fast ones, and that's the tier they're iterating on weekly. The naming is a mess. I won't defend it. 3.7 Flash being newer, and in some cases better than anything labeled Pro, doesn't make any sense from the outside. Safety-wise, they shipped updated safeguards around chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear misuse, plus cyber offense. That's standard for Google releases now under the Frontier Safety Framework. Full details are in the model card if you want them. What I'd actually do with this. If you're already on 3.6 Flash, testing 3.7 is basically free money for the rest of the year, since it's half price and scores higher on every eval Google published. Just swap the model string and run your existing test set. If you're on Claude or GPT for coding agents, the honest picture is mixed. Gemini wins on web dev and enterprise automation and price. Terra still wins on long horizon engineering, so it depends entirely on what your agent does. And if you're not building anything and just use the Gemini app, the change is Spark getting sharper, which you'll notice or you won't. The pattern underneath all of this is the part I keep coming back to. 3 weeks between releases, price cut in half, and double-digit benchmark jumps. That's not a normal product cycle. That's a company that found something in their training pipeline and is shipping it as fast as they can validate it. Google straight up said this release came from algorithmic innovations they plan to bring to future models, which reads to me like whatever they found isn't done yet. So test it on your own workload, watch your token bill, and put a reminder in your calendar for December 31st. Alright, so that's it from the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.